Hey, folks, welcome back to the second part of the show. We were just talking about moving heavy objects with our minds. Billy is supposed to be able to do that. But as I always do, I'm going to change subject just slightly for just a few minutes.
All right, I'll try and remember to go back to it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I made a note to go back to it, so hopefully we will.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, have you heard of Al Di Meola?
No.
Oh, my goodness. You got to look him up. He, yes.
I'm doing definitely. It live while you're telling me.
Yeah, go ahead. I think that's great. And he had a partner that he played with called Paco de Lucia. And they did a song called Mediterranean Sundance.
I see it right now. Yeah.
Click it. Yeah. I don't know. Will they be able to hear? Maybe just us.
Yeah, I can. I'll turn it on.
Yeah. I want you to hear this song.
Okay.
It's very cool. It's very awesome.
See if it play.
Maybe it won't play.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
It's because we're going to get off topic if we play.
Yeah.
I just want you to hear this. It's awesome.
No, it doesn't seem to be.
It's not going to play?
Pushing through. I really tried my best.
Anyway, there was a John McLaughlin. Have you ever heard of that guitarist?
Yes.
I know you're a guitarist. Mm-hmm. He used to play with these guys as well. They had a band called the Super Trio, and they toured around all over the place. There was another great guitarist named Lenny Breau, who Chet Atkins kind of sponsored him and kind of got him started. But Lenny had a real problem with drugs. He eventually died and killed himself, I guess, using drugs. But the instability, and I think we all have instability within us, particularly if things are going harder than usual.
Yep.
That's when you can tell where you're at.
Unless we have been educated since our youth to understand that we do not need to rely on things outside of ourselves to solve our internal problems.
So that's why people go to drugs, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. If you don't have the mental fortitude in some respects, or mind you, let's be clear, because I know people are going to give us a rap sheet for saying this. Some people are just chemically imbalanced in their brain. Okay. Right. So they'll just naturally be predisposed to want to go do drugs, whatever.
Right.
But the other vast majority here will look towards outside things as coping mechanisms rather than understanding they have their own internal power to do that. They've never been taught how to use their own book, right? The book of Mark or the book of Alexander to solve their own problems. Okay. And so drugs it's an easy route to take. It's a sense of escaping these things you are feeling.
So meditation is an example of depending on your own ability. And meditation can help return you back to a balanced state.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll meditate a couple of weeks and then I just start to forget again. I don't know why. And so it's good we're having this conversation. Gets me back.
Hey, Mark, let me ask you something.
Sure.
Is meditation important to you?
I would say being mentally healthy is important to me. And sometimes I think I don't need it for one reason or another. And I can just go on because I'm a tough guy or whatever.
Trust me, you need it.
Yeah,
clearly.
I agree.
Because you forget about it, it's not important enough for you.
So I got to stop forgetting and stay with it.
Make it important.
So these are good conversations to have.
Yeah, this is like the second half, like Mark Snider self-help version, where Mark is like, help me figure my life out. And I'm here for you, Mark. I'm here as a friend. I'll help out as much as I can.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay, we were talking about moving heavy objects. Billy moving heavy objects with his mind.
Okay. Would be really cool to see, right?
Oh, yeah.
Super cool.
But, okay, let me ask you something. One of Billy's sons has seen him. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this recording yet. It's a discussion. I forget, Atlantis, is that one of his sons' names?
Atlantis Meyer, yes.
Yeah. I think it might have been him.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about Billy doing something with his mind that caused all the light in the room to go black.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see them talking about that?
Yeah. So
scared the bejeebies out of Atlantis.
Yeah, I bet. Okay.
Just think if your father could do that.
Let's break it down. First of all, anybody can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And the goal here is not to flaunt our ability to do things like this. It's not to put it on show, even though you and I are on a show, but we're going to explain this. Now, from what I understand, our creation which we live in total, is an idea. It is strictly an idea. This aspect of evolving, existing, having a physical body, moving back to the thing of creation itself, it's all an idea, nothing else. And today, our current physicists understand that, yeah, we see a physical object, but in reality, it's all empty space, okay? So it's a projection of something being physical. You following me here? Now, because this isn't everything that exists here in the material is just an idea, well, there's strength in that idea. There's power in it, okay? There's might in the thought of the material world, okay? Its existence. Creation, with its energy, is imbibed in all of these things. Everything's interlinked. They all live. It just flows through it. Now, if you can move into that flow, if you can understand to a more comprehensive level, Mark, that life in the physical is an idea driven by thoughts. Thoughts determine actions. Thought determines physical creation of things. It's all thought-based. And if you can amass the internal power that you have, imparted to you by creation itself, and pair that with the might of your thoughts, it gives you the ability, through the idea, that you could have things like superhuman strength. Superhuman's not a good way to term it because all humans can do it. It just seems superhuman. Or the fact that you could drain the lights in a room with your thoughts. The fact that you could transport your body physically from one geographic location, Cartesian coordinate, to another geographic Cartesian coordinate. Okay?
Right.
All of it is based on an idea. And when you realize that your idea is reality, you have the ability to do anything you want to do. There is no restriction to the idea. And if you put all your power behind that, go ahead.
You always hear about women and they'll lift a car up to save their child and stuff like that.
Right.
Me and a buddy of mine, we crashed. We were riding motorcycles in the woods and we crashed together. It's a real stupid thing. And his father came and we were trying to help him because I broke my hand, but I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah, adrenaline. And at one point, we had to we didn't have any scissors, and we had to try to get his Levi's off, and he had the key went into like by his knee and stuff.
That sounds comfortable.
Yeah. So I knew I could tear those Levi's. I don't know why I knew I could, but nobody else could. And I just picked those, and I was only 13, 14, so tore those Levi's like they were nothing.
That's a heavy right-hand cotton twill there, Mark. I'm surprised.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
But let me ask you something. You knew, correct?
I don't know. Yeah, I did. I knew absolutely.
At a core level, Mark, without thinking about any other bullshit.
Right.
You knew in that moment that you could do something.
Yeah.
And it was without question.
It totally was without question.
When your reality comes to the point when you recognize that your ideas are just as real as things that are physical, Mark, you have the ability to do anything you want to do.
Wow.
Everything is based off of an idea. everything at its core. And at that moment, if you ever achieve it, you step beyond your material thinking. It'll be impossible for you to go back. Absolutely impossible. You will never, ever see the world the same again.
I had another experience when I was a teenager, something like that. Me and some other kids and a buddy of mine, the same guy I had the wreck with.
Yeah.
And we had some of my sister and my one cousin out there, and we were all playing around, about 13 years old. And it was right around the time of the storm. And I said, I don't know why I did this. I had a bullwhip. I was acting like I was whipping my sister and my cousin. And I said something along the lines, I'm going to make a lightning bolt hit this stop sign.
Get out of here.
And it did.
That's nuts.
It did.
How loud was it? How loud? Tell me how loud.
It shook. It boom.
Yeah.
You know, like,
wow.
I mean, that stop sign shook back and forth like you wouldn't believe. Scared the hell out of all of us.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
I never did another thing like that, though. Ever. No. But it was the same kind of thing. I knew I would. I knew I could. I don't know how.
Do you know, I read this thing once. It could be total conspiracy. It could be purely conspiracy, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I read this thing once that Lockheed Martin was having a lot of trouble fabricating a type of metal.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had realized that before we put this thing in the press to form it, and usually when they would form it, it'd become really fragile and break under the pressure of the press. Why don't we try and collect a group of people that specialize in manipulating physical objects with their mind?
Whoa.
And so in order to get this very specific shape of a very specific material, they had all these people that specialized in this focusing on the softening of this object so that when the press came down, it was no longer fragile. It actually formed itself perfectly. And to me, it actually doesn't seem too far out of whack, just given personal experience, right, of certain things, or stories you're telling me, or watching other people do stuff, or you're hearing about Billy Edward Alvermeyer and his strength. It doesn't seem out of the realm of possible. Improbable for some, but definitely possible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm taking notes again.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's fine. Who's the Uri Geller? You remember that guy? Ben and Spoons?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Stuff.
There's a military guy. He's a colonel. He's a scientist. And he talks about, he wrote a book, I think it's called Energy from the Vacuum. From the vacuum of the space of the universe. You might even be able to find it. But
T.E. Bearden.
Yes, Bearden. That's his name. What's the T for? Can you see it?
No, but this was this whole idea on 0-point energy, correct?
He's brilliant, but he said that the government knows there are people that can, with the power of their mind, modify reality or change reality or influence reality. And he said usually they kill them.
Yeah, why not? You don't want those people hanging around.
They don't.
No.
They don't. That's a shocking thing, isn't it?
No, I don't find it shocking at all.
It's anti-logos.
Again, that it is right there. Yeah. It is.
Thomas Bearden, that's his name.
Thomas Bearden, yes.
Yeah.
Thomas E. Bearden. Thank you.
They have tremendous technologies which have been kept from the public.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, I don't know if it's always justified, but
no, it's not always justified. But I don't think it'd be in the best interest of everyone to just give some stuff out to the public. Frankly,
some of the public is okay. Let me continue here.
Yeah, before we go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. It is okay. Talking about the anti-logos, It is the child of destruction, the anti-logos, the malicious, confusing, sneaking, lurking, and deadly. And I don't know what this means, but I'll read it. In eighth succession is created the anti-logos in total. The thing as a man of untruth, of disgrace, of destruction, and of death. It almost sounds like it's talking about the Antichrist.
I think it's talking about a human being that's reincarnated again, probably for the 8th time.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I'm listening. Right. I
makes sense.
Yeah. I don't want to poison the well here of your thoughts, but it sounds to me that in some way, shape, or form, it's a human being taking on this role, whoever it is. Right? I don't know if it's a pope, but it's definitely somebody.
Who's that guy? He's named Noah. Have you ever seen him? He's very much into the movement, where they try to merge men with machines. He's very into that. If anybody could be an antichrist, it could be him.
Yeah, let's not merge the human being into machines. Let's not jump into that bag of worms too early. You know what I mean? Like, guys, let's hesitate for a minute.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Remember?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, about that
really
251. It's messed up. Some people are into it. You know, this is the right thing to do. This is what's best for humanity.
Well, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. In other words, the whole universe, which is organic, why would we not copy the universe?
You're using a very specific comment, Mark. Do you know who coined that?
No.
You ever heard of a guy called Victor Schauberger?
Oh, yeah. The water. He was the guy studying the water.
Yeah, his whole...
coming down the mountains in
that's right. In
Germany.
Austria. Yeah, his whole thing was to comprehend and copy nature.
Smart guy.
Brilliant. He did have a leg up, right? What was his leg up?
Older spirit form?
Nah, he was hanging out with extraterrestrials.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's chilling, man. Why do you think, you thematically start to see the way these people speak? And in that, you understand that they are kind of cut from the same cloth, if you know what I'm talking about.
How did you find out about this? Did you read it in the contact notes?
Yeah, it's in there. Check it out.
Victor Schauberger interacted with the Plejaren or another group?
Probably another group.
Okay. Now, isn't it strange that the Plejaren have nothing to do with Earth humans except Billy?
I don't find that strange at all.
None of them.
I don't find it strange at all.
We're the genetically manipulated people. We've got a shortened lifespan, increased aggression. We are probably considered dangerous.
We're 100% considered dangerous. Just absolutely dangerous. I mean, I know, like, when I'm sleeping in bed and I toss over, my elbow hits Amanda, that's dangerous, right? I can't even figure out how to sleep safely. What's wrong with me?
I speak strange languages in my sleep.
Ooh. Tell me more, Mark.
She says they sound a little bit like German, but she doesn't know. I don't remember doing it.
That's funny.
Remember doing it at all. Isn't that strange?
I've had that experience twice.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I had a dream and I woke up, I was like, holy crap, I am fluent in Hebrew. I looked at him and I was like, I'm fluent in Hebrew. I was like, I need to go learn the language right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew it at my core in my dream state. And then there was this other one kind of recently. I started speaking in what felt like the most alien language ever. And the more I would talk, the tones made my body feel more energetic. Like they were, like my body was like in an electrical socket, like it was charging up the more I talked in the language. Very strange. I've only had 2 instances of that in the dream state, Mark.
That's a whole discussion.
Oh, that's right, a lot to unpack. That's fast. Yeah, probably people like, this guy's a psychopath. That's probably what they're going to say.
Well, I tell you what, and we'll get to this later, but I'll just do it as a preview. Contact Report 660.
Okay.
660 talks about how colors affect human beings.
Sure. Color therapy. Think about it. Or what about...
Look, go outside, recline in your recliner, look up at a blue sky, It's going to improve. It'll cause calm to fall over you. It will also help your general health.
That's why they paint nurseries that color.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Mark. Come on, I don't even have children, but I hear this all the time. And guess what? Nurseries, they're painted that color.
But colors can also have negative effects.
Yeah. You don't want to sleep in a red room.
Probably not. What does it cause?
Agitation?
Probably.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look into its wavelength.
Like the white cream most people paint their walls?
Eggshell? Yeah.
Yeah. It's really bad. It causes like thoughts of violence and all sorts of stuff.
Wow.
We're crazy.
That's wild. I'd love to see how that study came about. That's great.
Anyway, it's contact report 660. We'll get into it in a little more detail if we make it a little farther down through here. Before him are 7 embodiments of the mighty ones, within themselves anti-logos, 7 children of evil.
Okay, so it is a human form.
Okay. Working in the murder of the truth and bloodthirsty murdering mankind, numbering in manifold millions.
No, it sounds like the Roman Catholic Church.
Or the drug companies.
No, not even. It doesn't even count in number. It's got to be. It's got to be like Vatican material.
Okay.
Because what do people kill in the name of?
In the name of... Isn't that a song?
Yeah, but they kill in the name of God all the time. We've been doing it for a long time.
Very true. The murdering of millions also started with COVID-19 vaccine. Many of the drugs on the market today. There's a new drug, a weight loss drug called Ozempic. Have you heard of it?
Yep.
Causes the stomach to go into paralysis. Forces the user of the drug to vomit each time they eat.
Genius. That's how you lose weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Never keep it down, They're like, we got it. We're gonna give you something that makes you puke.
The drug is also known to cause cancer.
Yeah.
If you use it for a year, it'll cause cancer, they say.
Oh, that's quick.
There's a bunch of side effects, which I've forgotten. It's totally damaging. And even if you listen to the commercial on TV, it'll tell you most all these horrible effects.
Yeah.
People still take it because they think, oh, it's not going to happen to me.
Or maybe they say, I have no other option for losing weight, which is a load of crap.
Yeah.
Plenty of options. Really, yeah.
One of the things that I found is helping a lot in terms, I've lost a fair amount of weight lately.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Writing my calories down, just letting, I know I've eaten, for example, 2,000 calories so far today. Maybe I'll eat another something before I go to bed. Maybe I won't. But I know, what I'm doing at least.
You're more conscious of what's going in your body. That's great.
Right.
It's great.
The digestion's better too.
Mm-hmm.
What about the strange attacks on Trump?
What about
example? Lawfare. Legal attacks on Trump designed to interfere with him running for president.
Sure. Why wouldn't someone do that? If someone doesn't want you to do something, they're going to use every legal means to stop you from doing that thing. It doesn't surprise me at all. The gentleman, as a personality, is a huge potentiating factor. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. His energy is very potentiating. The way he talks, potentiating. All of it. And so for people, they're trying to adjust to it or like counter it. So in that sense, yeah, sure, taking legal action against him, I don't doubt anyone would do that.
And then they're really terrible, bogus charges. But he also kind of brings it on himself a little bit because, I'm a Trump fan. I enjoy him. But he flat insults people in very rude ways. So when you do stuff like that, you're going to get it back.
Yeah, you can speak the truth without having to be insulting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for saying that. That's very perceptive.
Sure.
Way to put it. Another one, anti-logos, maybe the attacks on Alex Jones, who was charged trillions of dollars as legal punishment for speaking about the Sandy Hook shooting and saying that there was a lot of propaganda.
Lovely. Do you know where Alex Jones got a lot of his material from?
Not sure. Go ahead.
Michael Horn. Michael Horn was sending it to him, be like, "Hey, check this stuff out. You should talk about it." Yeah, and then he just went full. He went full tilt. I mean, I don't know how far off the Richter scale, but he used a lot of material from the contact reports to help him. I don't know, uncover whatever he was doing. Yeah.
Alex. Okay, how can I say this? If you have a certain mindset, you're going to screen out things before you really test them. Like if something threatens your religion, for example, you're going to screen any information out. Like, strangely, even though I study the Bible and I would call myself Christian, I still am not threatened by the Meyer information.
Yeah, that's because it's non-threatening. It speaks the truth without insulting you, Mark.
Exactly, but most people will turn it off, shut it down, deny it before they even listen, before they even learn anything.
Sure.
So they hold on to their view of reality. People are afraid to let that go. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. They just have a bias and a perspective that inhibits anything that challenges their thought processes because it's too much for them to think about something that counters it. And then they emotionally respond when someone says something that is not aligned with their thought patterns that they have just emboldened within themselves. I was sitting on an airplane coming back from the Los Angeles airport to Denver 2 nights ago. And I sat next to this absolutely wonderful Muslim Pakistani woman.
Oh, okay.
Full headscarf, full garb, everything. Wonderful. And I had an 1.5 hour conversation on the Quran, Muslim ideology, why she wears a head wrap, her relationship with her husband, about religion, how she's seen as a provider, like all these things. It was absolutely incredible. And guess what? She's cornered in a confined space, but still continued to have this conversation because she had a curiosity about why I was asking. I wanted to understand the religion further. I wanted to understand her mindset. And she was very, very willing to share and took no offense to the things I was sharing. Now, one of these things was, I said, "You're wearing a headscarf, correct?" She's like, "Yes, I want to protect my beauty and I want to save it for my husband." I said, "Okay." So he's the only person that can see her hair. I said, "That's fine." I said, "I'm sure you have beautiful hair." Like, yeah. And then before that, she had made a comment that if you read the Quran, there is an equal balance between the words, it's saying the word man and woman. Everything is in equilibrium, right? She said that there's nothing in the Quran that contradicts itself. I haven't read it. I don't know, but I'm taking her at face value. So I said, "Okay, you're saying like balance is a very important aspect of that between man and women." She's like, "That's correct." I said, "Okay." I said, "Do you make your husband cover his hair?" I said, "Do you find your husband's hair beautiful?"
What did she say?
She says, "I've never thought about that."
Oh.
Yeah. And she what's really funny. She said, "I used to think like you."
Oh.
And then I asked her, I said, "Do you feel like it was easier to not challenge the ideas of the Muslim religion or things within the Quran because of where you were raised, and culturally and socially, it would have created too much of a rift amongst your family, friends, and the rest of society?" She said, "Yes." So it was actually easier to just follow what this thing was saying without actually intellectually challenging it any further.
Yes. So that's the danger, I guess.
That is the danger. And I can understand, I actually could, think to like empathize with those pressures she would feel. Right? It was a wonderful conversation. That's just what I have to share, regarding religions, regarding people and their ideas being challenged. She was one of those rare people that was strict follower of a religion and ideology, but was willing to have a conversation and continue to have that conversation with no negative emotional responses, none of that, Mark.
She wasn't threatened?
Not at all. It was very, very refreshing conversation.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. Let me continue here.
Go ahead.
1 John 5:19. I don't know. We may have already quoted this.
We'll find out.
We know that we are children of God, and the whole world is under control of the evil one. I don't know if I've read that yet.
So
I might.
No, you didn't read that. What's the context here? And you said it was John?
1 John 5:19.
What's the whole context of what he's describing? Is there like a story associated with this?
Yeah, there's a profound story, and there's a lot of information there. It's something we could probably do part of a show on.
Okay.
Actually, this is one thing that just hit me a while back when I was reading. And I don't think of, you know what, I think it's better where it says evil one. I think it's very limiting to translate that as evil one or devil. I think that anti-logos is probably
more appropriate.
Yes, I think so.
Like in a definitive sense, not that being illogical is appropriate, but I'm just saying in a more definitive sense for what we're describing.
I think so. I think it would help.
Because they didn't say evil ones. They said evil one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they were that explicit when they were writing the Bible. It's impossible for me to say.
So the whole world is in control of the evil one. You can say that's the devil, or you can say it's the anti-logos.
Uh-huh.
So I make a big, this is funny, it's just like me, my notes. I make a big change of subject.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Aimlessness and purposelessness.
Purposelessness. Tough word, but I like it.
Aimlessness and purposelessness in the human being. That occurs, I think, when we're not following the impulse to strive.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Of course. You need to have... Actually, yeah, you do. You need to have a focus in life. You have to have some idea of where you want to go or who you want to be. But to be aimless, to just wander around without a home and just take on a life of non-purpose, you're wasting, one, the opportunity, and two, the gift you've been given and your ability to evolve, right? All those elements are gone. You're just ignoring that impulse of life. That impulse is what allows you to exist. Why would you ignore it? It's absurd.
Are you at a state right now? Because you seem accelerated. You're only 31, right?
I am 31 years old.
And you own your own business.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in the tech field.
Yep.
Do you have like specific goals, like in 10 years you want to your company to be worth 100 million or something like that?
No,
you don't have it. It's not like that. Those kinds.
No, that to me, those seem like non-valuable goals. What I do for work is a consequence of my thoughts. I only have one goal, Mark, and that is to evolve. My goal is to align as best I can with the thing that allows me to exist. That's all I want to do.
Align with the thing that allows you to exist.
Yes. That's all I want to do.
What is that thing?
That thing is nature. It's creation.
Nature.
Mm-hmm. If it allows me to be here, I want to flow with it. I want to learn from it.
Good way to put it.
Yeah. That's all I want to do. I don't, because when I do that, Mark, then I live a life as an example for other people to learn from without me having to tell people how they should live their life.
That's good.
Okay. I never want to step on anybody else's free will, but I have the free will, the opportunity to accelerate the ability for my consciousness to evolve, for me to amass knowledge, love, and wisdom, and then translate that into everything that I touch.
That's a great goal.
That's the only goal for me.
It's great.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the contact report 660.
Oh, okay. We're going to do it. Let's do it.
A question lies on the tip of my tongue, and indeed regarding the color blue and the blue light, about which your father Sloth had already said that this color and the similar light can have a calming and even a health-promoting effect on the human beings, and indeed also on the brain and the metabolism.
Yeah.
This is huge. I mean, I've done this and not known that this was in the Meyer material. For years, I've, even in the winter, I'll take my cot out there, and dress up with warm clothes and just get the blue sky influence in the sun.
Just absorb it. It's really attractive part about New Mexico for me is the
blue sky.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. It's so rich, so lowly polluted. It's wonderful. So
you don't have a lot of chemtrails or whatever they are?
No, we don't. We have very minimal condensation from turbine jet engines that are emitting a specific pressure in the sky, condensing moisture as the turbine pushes or pulls the jet forward, creating that trail you're talking about.
Right. That is really, I think that's a huge thing. So you have blue sky how many days a year?
300 plus.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's huge. But you have some nuclear waste that's close nearby.
Also true. It's insane. You always find the most amount of beauty around the most amount of ugliness.
Is that a truth?
Yeah. How do you recognize the stark beauty of something if you don't know what's completely ugly?
Wow. That's pretty wild. So I learned something this week when I was preparing for this. It's really interesting when the Meyer information affirms something.
Okay, like what?
Well, like I knew that going out in the blue sky and laying on my little cot would make me feel great. It always does, but I didn't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's just something I did. Okay, the blue sky we talked about. The color violet. This is an example of some of the bad effects of colors. The color violet has a very depressing effect. Brings depression, insecurity, unsatisfaction, and is illness causing.
Yeah. For people that emit an auric color, say purple, not a good color to emit.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Consider this. How like people like chakra colors, like purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indigo and violet. Like that's where I want to be. I want to unlock that, man. Like I got my crystal set up. I'm chilling. I've been tripping on DMT. I want to be full purple. Okay. No. That has a frequency, a register of a combination of colors to create that violet that is non-cohesive. It's unhealthy.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, oh, it definitely is. I'm trying to think of things that are purple that I wouldn't want to touch. They have there are these glass beads that used to go in nuclear reactors. You walk around with them, and when they would interact with radiation, they'd change like purple. They'd turn the color purple. And that radiation is not going to be good for you, right? So there's a register at even in the realm of physics between the color purple and that. And if you go on the spectrum, the waveform becomes a lot faster, like violet, ultraviolet.
Mm-hmm.
So the radiations become more intense beyond the range that is probably healthy for the human being.
Brown. The color brown causes fear of the outside world.
I wonder how that works.
I have no idea. That's Contact Report 660. Every color exhibits both a positive and a negative value.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Some colors have a healing effect. Okay, off cream white causes violent reaction and overstimulation. So many people paint their walls that color.
Yeah, but what's the positive effect of it, Mark?
I don't know.
See,
Really
that's the element. What's the balance of it? Because if you think about white, okay, it's like it's an elevated combination of all colors coming together. It could be too much energy for people to deal with, causing those really amped up reactions.
Right.
You feel? So in a positive sense, it has all that great energy associated with it because white is a combination of all those colors in perfect balance.
I'm getting ready to look this up.
What are we looking up?
Contact Report 660, and we're looking up off cream white.
Off cream white. I'm going to Sherwin-Williams after this, picking up 5 gallons of off cream white. I'm going to paint a room. I'm going to sit in it for a week and see how I feel.
I wondered if you'd be able to sense it.
Sure.
That your thoughts had changed,
If you sat there with a diary and went from room to room, isolated, and all you had was a different change in color, and all you did was write down your thoughts and those thought patterns and how you feel, you'd see a pattern.
Okay. They're not telling me anything about this. And they're just saying off cream. Okay. Off cream white, violent reaction, and overstimulation. That's all it says.
Yeah, I think the overstimulation creates the reaction.
Okay, maybe the negative. Then it says negative. And I don't know if they're talking about white still, but it says unfairness, guile, suffering, autumn, emptiness, destructive sorrow, and death.
Fun. Yay. That's how Sherwin-Williams is going to start describing their colors, right? They're like, here's how this is going to make you feel when you paint your wall like this.
You know, when I was a kid and we would drive, we would take our long trips and we would go through Cincinnati and places where there's nothing but concrete everywhere and buildings and nothing green. And I always felt so empty and sad when I went through areas like that.
Yeah, it's because it's like an old Soviet bloc, Mark. Nobody wants to live there. I
know. A lot of cities are like that in certain areas.
Most of them are like that.
Yeah, I know. And I would feel it so profoundly, but it seemed like nobody else did.
Yeah, some people are obsessed with the cities.
Yeah.
Mark, what happens when you take a car battery and you put it on a concrete slab?
I've never done that before.
It drains it at an accelerated rate.
Whoa.
So imagine what happens when you walk around in a city and your body's just one big battery and you're just in this massive concrete jungle.
And you're draining yourself.
Basically. Oh, you drain yourself, everything else.
Life energy. Right?
Forget that. No thanks.
It's funny how I've gotten older and I've been able to, sense that and put that in words. Sometimes people can't put that into words.
Difficult to articulate.
Yeah, they can't articulate it. But then sometimes after enough years, it dawns on you how to. Like, I think right now the Earth is being hit with some kind of energy. That's very negative.
The energy that the Earth is hit with is self-imposed energy.
Like it's coming from the society on the Earth. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Because Earth doesn't want to kill you. Earth doesn't want to get you bad energy. Earth wants to evolve. The Earth is striving. The Earth is trying to create balance among its delicate systems. And then what it's doing is it's reacting to the insane nature we have as a collective. All things form, Mark, from the inside out.
please elaborate. That's pretty profound.
Everything you do, everything we create starts from the inside and then grows outward. Your thoughts lead to outward actions.
Right.
Insemination of a female egg allows something internally to develop and then be birthed to the outside. Big bang, inside out.
Mm-hmm.
All things, a seed in a field germinates, it grows, it evolves from the inside out. All of it. Relationships, everything, you name it. They're all bound by it. Everything forms itself from the inside out. So never, ever, 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 ever could you blame someone for the thoughts that you have or the actions which you're taking, because they're all formed from the inside out. You cannot pass the responsibility of your life, your thoughts, your actions, feeling, and emotions to another. It is not only illogical, it is unreasonable, it is unfair, it is unbalanced, it is non-creational to do something like that.
You know, I think Billy at one point said even the animals are the result of their thinking.
Of course. If my dog only eats other animal feces outside, right, thinking that it's good for him, the result of my dog's instinct-based thinking is going to be damaging to his health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If he thinks it's a good idea to chase the larger bull elk that's 800 pounds or the pissed off mountain goat, that's probably not going to bode well for him.
Exactly.
You know?
That's like mighty thoughts. Lower thoughts lead to lower results.
My dog, low thoughts, low yield results all the time. Yeah.
Isn't there, I remember Billy has this saying, it says, I always remain relaxed and thereby gain might over myself.
Uh-huh. Smart.
Which one was that? That was
I don't know, but that's actually very novel for me hearing that. It's the first time I've heard that. That's wonderful.
Meditation from Clear Sight, I think it might be called.
Oh, that book's only in German. Okay, understood. I haven't read that one yet.
I haven't either, but I've seen some notes on it in the Future Mankind site.
Yeah.
I always remain relaxed and therefore gain might over myself thereby.
The first thing I recognize in situations where, something is like working me up, I immediate focus on the heart rate.
Oh, do you?
I'm like, whoa. What
Can you
is
feel
this?
it?
What is this hormonal response that just occurred? Like, why is the heart rate elevated?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, where am I? Who am I interacting with? What's going on around me? And then as I go through it, I can allow myself to immediately relax again. I have pretty good control over my heart rate. I mean, I've done a lot of like rowing over many years, and I'm not wearing headphones. I don't have anything else. The only thing I can focus on is like me and my body. Okay. So I have a very good idea of listening about like what's going on internally.
I noticed that a lot of people, when they work out, put those earbuds in.
Yeah.
And that seemed like that would interfere a little bit with my able to sense my body.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I would think so.
Is your body born with earbuds in?
No. Good.
Okay, great. Perfect. I don't even have to make that point any further, do I?
No. Page 34, Minor Thoughts. That which is thought fulfills itself sooner or later.
Uh-huh.
That's profound.
What goes around comes around, right, Mark?
I suppose. Page 34, the human being forms his basic personality in the womb. Mm-hmm. That's a profound statement.
Yeah. It's when the personality starts to develop after the 21st day when the spirit actually goes in there. When the spirit goes in, so does the consciousness block, the fresh one. And what happens is...
The new one.
Right.
Yeah.
So the baby in here in the womb, right, in this area, is picking up vibrations of the world, is picking up energy from the mother and chemical reactions and the food that's coming in. The personality is already developing then at that very point. People aren't conscious of that. So they're still a little wacko when it comes to, bearing children. But there's so many other influences that get picked up. And at a cellular level, that goes and that starts to form the baby's personality because it has to react to the body now and it has to adapt to all these new pressures and stimuli that are coming into it.
And the child in the womb is thinking.
Sure. How could it not be thinking? It's got a brain, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. It's thinking.
Now, if we think of the subconscious and we think of the knowledge from the previous life, some of that is stored in the subconscious. Maybe all of it. I can't remember.
No, well, here's what happens. It's not that it's stored in the subconscious, okay? It's that the subconscious is open to the impulses from the overall consciousness block, which is storing all of the previous life information.
And the overall consciousness block came in?
No.
At the same time the spirit?
No. Here, what a new consciousness goes in, new personality, all that stuff, that goes in, plus the spirit.
And where is the overall consciousness block?
It's like
it's in the other realm.
In the other realm. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Now your unconscious and subconscious, if you open that stuff up, that impulse comes in and it can pay attention to it. So characteristics come through. And highly evolved spirits, okay, things that have been around for a long time, also carry a lot of the same facial characteristics over time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, very, very cool. Because it understands that certain facial structures it prefers because it's very potentiating and it's useful for that thing's learning. And so it knows that if I carry that through, it helps accelerate a process.
That's incredible.
Oh, it's awesome. It's actually so cool.
That's why if you looked at Billy, you could probably look at his prior personalities and they would look somewhat like him, right?
Yeah.
Even all the way back to Nocodamian.
That's correct. Wouldn't it be cool if we had like a machine? We could take a picture of our face and it's like, tell me every human being that's looked like me.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
Billy has gosh, we're running out of time, like big time running out of time. There was a interview he did where he talked about a lot of this kind of thing. And Christian interviewed him. They had people send in questions.
Yeah.
And then Christian
asked Billy about it. Yeah.
Read them. He read them. Yeah.
I got an email from Christian the other day.
Yeah.
And he said, "You caught me on a day when I'm in a good mood." And I'm like, "That's great. How exciting. That's fantastic."
Oh, I need to attend one of your studies. How is this still going on? Is that pretty good?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, what time frame is that, or do you know?
They run twice a week, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday and Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you an invite for it, Mark.
What are you covering?
The goblet. The goblet.
The goblet of truth. Mm-hmm. What part of that are you talking about?
So it's broken down in a syllabus by chapter and subsection.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we go through it, read it, and then break it down, understand it, and answer any questions, and then move on to the next part.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, healthy. Definitely healthy.
Nobody talks about their summer vacation or anything like that?
No, you can do that on the general chat feed on our Discord server.
So you have a server set up?
Yeah, I run a private server that for people who are interested in this that are in the United States, allow them to come in and join as a community.
Is it a Zoom?
No, it's a Discord.
Discord?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I really do like Discord. Company does a lot of good stuff.
Are they in the U.S.?
Yes, they are.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll share it with you after the show, Mark. Not a problem.
Sometimes I wonder about some of the software.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I know. I know it all too well.
The human being creates through the might of his or her thoughts every one of his states, whether it is a state of inner freedom We're a state of inner imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
There's our music man.
Now
Another
we're free.
great show.
I'm not
We're free
imprisoned.
again.
I'm free.
See you. Thanks for coming again.
Thanks,
Great
Mark.
show.
Appreciate it.
Lots of fun. Make sure you put the MP4 up like you did last time so I can.
I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it.
We'll see you later. Thanks, man.